Hello, Wellesley. I'm Congresswoman Katherine Clark. I'm so excited by the opportunity to represent Wellesley in the Massachusetts 5th Congressional District. From my time on school committee, as General Counsel for the Office of Child Care Services, in the State House, and now as Assistant Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, my top priority remains making sure every family has a fair shot at a secure future. That means protecting the gains we have made on lowering costs from Republican extremists who are planning to undo those savings. Democrats have lowered the price of prescription drugs, capped insulin at $35 a month, and limited out-of-pocket healthcare costs for seniors to $2,000 a year. We cannot afford to undo that progress. As a mom of 3, I understand that working families need childcare that is high quality, accessible, and affordable, while paying providers a living wage. A fair shot means that every child can arrive at kindergarten ready to learn at a great school. I will defeat Republican attempts to gut Social Security and Medicare. I will continue to expand access to mental health care and addiction services. And I will always fight to ensure you get to make your own reproductive decisions and that we stop the criminalization of women and healthcare providers. I will continue to make Wellesley safer, whether that's from the effects of climate change or gun violence. And I will always put the people of this community over politics. Our democracy faces a real threat from extremists who are undermining our elections and our vote, inserting politicians into our most personal decisions, and taking money from hardworking people to reward special interests. Freedom is on the ballot in November, and I would be honored to earn your vote. Thank you, Wellesley. I look forward to hearing and learning about your community and partnering on your priorities.
Hi, I'm Caroline Colarusso, running for U.S. Congress, and I have some questions for you today. Are you safer than you were 2 years ago? Violent crime is on the rise in America. We're hearing news reports that are shocking to many of us. Recently, a father killed while visiting his son in college, a woman brutally beaten in a subway station, and a mother shot taking her baby for a walk. This violence must end. We need to protect innocent citizens, not violent criminals. We shouldn't have no cash bail policies or lenient sentences for violent criminals. We must ensure our police departments are adequately funded. We must close the border and stop the fentanyl from entering our country, taking the lives of so many Americans and contributing to crime in our urban and suburban communities. How's your dollar working for you these days? Massachusetts has become unaffordable for many. Progressive spending policies have resulted in the highest price increases in over 4 decades. Every time you buy groceries, pay for fuel, or take a vacation, you feel the crippling effects of inflation. People are financially struggling like never before, and we have Joe Biden and a complicit Congress to thank for that. These tax and spend policies of this administration are destroying the American economy and depleting our household budgets. Our 401ks are tanking, interest rates are rising, and our area has some of the highest rents in the country. More than 50% of Americans are using their credit cards each month to make ends meet. We must rein in the spending, and we must take a common sense approach to lowering energy costs right here in Massachusetts. The cost of energy and oil is what's driving inflation. I'll support sound energy policies that increase oil and gas production, expand infrastructure, expand hydropower and nuclear, as well as a practical use of wind and solar. Are we losing our parental rights? Parental rights are fundamental, and the family is the bedrock of society. Moms and dads are the ones best qualified to instill values in their children and to educate them according to their standards. Parents and students deserve school choice. They deserve transparency from their local school boards. Help me protect our children with age-appropriate learning. We must return to a skills-based approach to education, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Help me safeguard your rights as a parent from the classroom to the soccer field. Our kids' future matters. I'm Caroline Colarusso, born in Boston's North End, a descendant of Italian and Spanish immigrants, a wife, a mother, a daughter, and a lifelong resident of Massachusetts with a strong work ethic and an unwavering love for God, family, and country. I've been married to my amazing husband, Joe, for 32 years. We're the parents of 3 adult boys. I served 2 terms as a select woman in my hometown of Stoneham, where I worked really hard to lower our local real estate taxes and our fees. Please help me be your voice in Congress. A voice desperately needed, a voice for change. I'm deeply concerned about the direction of our country. I believe this election will determine the future and the fate of our nation. I'm Caroline Colarusso, and I'm asking for your vote. Please visit my webpage, ColaRussoForCongress.com, to learn more about this campaign. Whether you're a Democrat, an independent, or a Republican, I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
My name's Diana DiZoglio. I'm a senator running to be your next state auditor to ensure working families like ours get access to and accountability from our state government, regardless of our family background, bank balance, or zip code. I was born to a 17-year-old single mom and grew up housing insecure in Methuen and Lawrence, cleaning houses and waitressing my way through community college. I then earned scholarships to Wellesley College to become the first in my family to graduate. It was only through the financial investments of others that I was able to build my future, and that inspired me to give back to my community in whatever way I could. I was eventually offered a position as a legislative aide to a state representative in our state house. He needed someone with deep community ties who spoke fluent Spanish, y claro que aprendí cómo hablar en español para ayudar más familias en mi comunidad. Es muy importante. I learned Spanish, I got the job, and I learned about all of the great things our state government can do. But friends, I also very quickly learned about how our state government can operate without accountability. As a younger woman in my 20s, way back then, I was sexually harassed in our own state house and forced to sign, under duress, a taxpayer-funded non-disclosure agreement meant to stop me from talking about literally anything that I had seen, witnessed, or experienced behind the closed doors on Beacon Hill amongst some of the most powerful politicians in Massachusetts. But I didn't let them get rid of me or keep me quiet. I instead decided to run for state rep myself and then state senate, where I'm currently serving my 10th year in the legislature. When I got elected, friends, I knew it was my responsibility to fight for working families like ours who have either been dismissed, ignored, or disenfranchised from a system in state government that's still not working for all families the way that it could and the way that it should. But not everyone on Beacon Hill appreciates our calls for transparency, accountability, and equity. And those who want to protect the status quo continue to try to dismiss our calls for auditing the legislature, utilizing the full powers of the office, and investigating the abuse of these taxpayer-funded non-disclosure agreements. That's why I'm so proud to have received the endorsement of the Massachusetts Nurses Association, the Massachusetts Teachers Association, the AFL-CIO, and Emily's List, who know that we need an auditor who will stand up, speak truth to power, and bring the work of the auditor's office to the next level. Because friends, every failed program and every wasted dollar, it's another child's future opportunity at risk. It's another person who goes without housing or health care. It's another environmental justice initiative that's passed over. Like many of you, I've seen the devastating impacts of mental health challenges and addiction in my own family. It's why I have the deep sense of urgency that I do, because we can't afford to wait to take bold actions that ensure access to life-saving programs for those who struggle the most. As auditor, I'll work to make sure that our mental health and addiction resources are available to the families who need them most by reporting on the Department of Mental Health and analyzing funding at the Bureau of Substance Addiction Services. Families unable to find housing can't afford to wait another day wondering if it's yet their turn to have a roof over their head. I'll fight to increase housing opportunities for all by actively analyzing and reporting on expenditures such as federal stimulus, ARPA, and other funds, as well as reporting on the Department of Housing and Community Development. Our children suffering abuse at the hands of those who are supposed to protect them need a powerful voice and an advocate who will work relentlessly to make sure that our Department of Children and Families, Early Education and Care, and Youth Services are fully funded and receiving performance audits. we must ensure our children are protected. And friends, when it comes to our environment, I'll bring the battle against climate change to the auditor's office, making sure that Massachusetts is meeting the goals of the groundbreaking climate legislation I've voted for in the state Senate and protecting environmental justice communities, starting with a report on inequities in the Mass Save program. For as forward-thinking as we are here in Massachusetts, our state government continues to be ranked by almost every good government group as the least transparent and the least accessible state government in the entire nation. We can and must do better, but in order to get there, it's going to take bold and visionary leadership to bring the auditor's office to the next level. Working families like ours can't afford to wait for meaningful change. My name is Diana DiZoglio, and I respectfully ask for your vote for auditor on Tuesday, November 8th. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Jay McMahon and I'm running for Massachusetts Attorney General. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been married to my wife and best friend Shelley for 30 years and we are the parents of 5 children. After high school, I enlisted with the Massachusetts Army National Guard and became a lieutenant in the military police. I also worked for the Barnstable County Sheriff's Office and I also became a municipal officer on the Cape Cod. I obtained my Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration from UMass and my law degree from Suffolk University in Boston. While in the National Guard, I attended the Massachusetts Military Academy, where I was trained to command battalion-level organizations with over 1,000 people. I've also been employed in top management positions with huge organizations, such as Cape Cod Bank and Trust, Scudder Taylor Oil Company, and Cape Cod Hospital, where we had over 2,000 employees. And so I have management experience at top levels and large organizations. For the last 35 years, I've been a trial attorney with thousands of cases in every level of court in Massachusetts, both state and federal. And I also have appeared before many federal, state, and municipal boards and commissions. And so I have a vast experience in almost every area of the law where the Attorney General appears. Now contrast that with my opponent, who has no trial experience, no client base, and has not been in any court where the Attorney General practices. In other words, she has no managerial or legal experience to take on all of the litigation for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I'm running for Massachusetts Attorney General because I believe that all Americans have a right to public safety. I believe that Black Lives Matter in this country. I want to see everyone achieve the American dream. I want to tackle the opioid crisis, and I will aggressively prosecute drug traffickers. I am concerned for the crime waves that are afflicting our minority neighborhoods. I believe that all our neighborhoods deserve the same level of public safety. I stand with our minority community leaders, all of whom are calling for more law enforcement, not less. The current Attorney General, Maura Healey, became embroiled in a major corruption scandal that resulted in 30,000 drug convictions being overturned and dismissed by the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court. I intend to address that corruption. To get an inside look into how bad it was in the Office of the Attorney General, you need to go to Netflix and watch How to Fix a Drug Scandal. My opponent's top priority is to defund the police and take away their qualified immunity. I think this is just plain wrong. I just don't see how defunding the police will ever stop crime wave or drugs on our streets. I will never support defunding the police. In fact, the statistics are very compelling. We must increase law enforcement in order to maintain public safety and law and order. My approach will be to hire more police and encourage the police and to stand by and support our police. And to this end, I back the blue. I know something about the opioid crisis. I lost my oldest son to this scourge. Every family in the Commonwealth has been touched by this. However, I have a 3-pronged approach to tackling this problem here in Massachusetts. It starts with effective government rehabilitative programs that are actually successful, just like the private pay programs. Then dry up the source of heroin and fentanyl by cooperating with our federal law enforcement assets, instead of ignoring them like our liberal elitists who think Massachusetts is already a sanctuary state. I will vigorously prosecute and with high sentences, so Massachusetts will have a reputation for being tough on drugs. And I'll make their task in this state, that is the drug dealers, very difficult. And that'll force them to go somewhere else where the laws are more lenient and states are more tolerant. As to vax mandates, none of the constitutions allow governments to impose these mandates on people. So to that end, I will stand with those who refuse the vax mandate, and I will help get their jobs back for all those who refused. For more information on my campaign, please go to my website at attorneyjmcmahon.com or to my Facebook page at Attorney J. McMahon. I am Jay McMahon, and I am running to be your next Massachusetts Attorney General. And I ask for your support and for your vote on Tuesday, November 8th. Thank you for your consideration, and God bless you.